Hello everyone, this is Yana Smakula for SimonsSTM.com. Welcome back for another Yippee For Yana episode. In this video, I'm creating simple cards with the Simon Says Stamp flower block stamp set. So here's a look at this set. It is simply stunning, simply brilliant. It is a layering stamp set. So we have 3 images, and when you layer them together, you create one beautiful multicolor image with a colored background. And you guys know me, I love when there's a colored background to a stamped image. I love to have a lot of contrast, a lot of drama on my cards. So when I saw this stamp set and when I realized what it can do, I was like, yes, I need to have it. I need to create with it. It is just genius. So here I am stamping the first layer and I'm using honey ink to create a vivid yellow background. So this is the beauty of the stamp set. It gives you the ability to add color to the background because we have many stamp sets in our stash that allow us to stamp beautiful flowers. This stamp set is very different because not only do we stamp flowers, we also stamp the background color for our card. Now, yes, this block image is rather small. It's not going to cover the front of your card, but it can create a beautiful focal point for your project. Also, you can create multiple of these blocks. You can stamp multiple of these blocks and have a full background for your card. You'll probably need 6 blocks to cover an A2 card, but it's possible, it's doable. So if you wanted to do that, you have that option. I'm not doing that today, but I just wanted to mention it. So next, I am stamping the second layer. Well, actually, I'm stamping the third layer because I like the third layer because it was more solid. I like this solid flower in the third layer. So I'm stamping the third layer using clay. It's a new ink color from Simon and I really love it. I kind of wanted to do a different color combination here. So I have yellow and then I have clay. And then for my last layer, I am going to use brick. It is yet another new color and it is just stunning. So a new color combination for me, a new stamp set for me to play with, and I'm just having fun here. Now I am using my Misty. This is the Mini Misty stamping tool. I have a grip mat from Waffle Flower inside my Misty, and I am stamping on the Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I am finishing the first block and you can see how beautiful this looks. It's so easy to stamp. It took me less than 3 minutes to create this beautiful image. And well, I'm going to say this, the sky is the limit because you just need 3 colors of ink to do this stamping and you can use whatever colors you want. You can do different color combinations even within this color combination. So I have honey, clay, and brick. I can alternate this. I can use brick for the background to have a dark red background, or I can have clay. I can use clay for the background to have an orange background. So there are so many creative options with the stamp set. You can just, have a go at it and play for hours. Now there is a coordinating die available. The die is awesome because not only does it cut this rectangle out, it also cuts little sentiments, and I'll show that in just a moment. Now, to me, this looks like a painting. It looks like a beautiful painting that would hang on a wall in an apartment. And for a minute, I thought about adding a piece of string to it to create the look of a painting and like hang it on the wall. So here I have some floss from my stash and I just wanted to show it real quick. I'm not going to do this for my card, but I have other ideas as I create and I always want to share these ideas with you in case you want to try them out. So with that done, I'm going to go back to my Misty and do some additional stamping because, well, I need to stamp a sentiment. Like I said, there are sentiments in this stamp set and there are 3 simple messages. So you have hello there, happy birthday, and thank you. The coordinating dies for the sentiments are super clever, super brilliant. They have rounded corners and they give you these rounded skinny strip sentiments. They're super cute. I've not seen that done before. So I was really intrigued by this die cut shape. I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp my sentiment. For this card, I'm going with a hello there, and I'm going to use that coordinating die with the rounded corners to cut it out. I'm just using a little bit of best ever craft tape. This is yellow tape from Spellbinders to cut it out, and check out this sentiment. Isn't that the best? I just love that rounded corner look. So be sure to look at the coordinating dies and pick them up if you are planning to get this stamp set, because those rounded corners are just brilliant. Okay, next I want to create a background for my card, and I'm using a new stencil from Simon. This is the Lattice Tile stencil. And I'm going to use the stencil to add dry embossing to my background. Here I have a panel of Simon Says Stamp Sea Glass cardstock. I'm going to center that on my stencil, on the stencil design. Again, using a little bit of low-tech tape to tape the stencil in place. And then I'm going to use my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine, and I'm going to emboss it. In case you don't know how to emboss with a stencil, the sandwich is exactly the same as when you want to emboss with an etched die. So here I'm adding a silicone mat. I have placed my paper and then my stencil on top, and I covered this with an adapter plate, and I'm just sending this through my machine. Super easy, and now I have an embossed background. Now the tape, you'll need to cut it off. It's kind of hard to peel it off because we applied a lot of pressure, so the tape is now really stuck onto the paper. You won't be able to peel it. You just need to cut it, or you will tear your paper like I just did. So, keep that in mind. But stencils can give you this beautiful embossed background. So next time you grab a stencil from your stash, think about doing dry embossing using your stencil. All the parts and pieces are now ready to create our card, and we can begin assembling it. I use the coordinating die for our little layered stamped piece, and I die cut another layer from scrap white cardstock. And I'm just basically gluing that blank layer from the back of my stamped image to make it a little bit more sturdy. The paper that I used, it's 80-pound cardstock, Nina 80-pound cardstock, and it is a little bit too thin for my taste. Also, we added a ton of ink onto this paper, so it warped slightly. And in order for me to flatten this paper, I added another layer of cardstock, and now I'm adding foam tape from the back so that I can pop this onto my card. I have already adhered my embossed background onto an A2 side folding card base. And now I'm just going to center my painting or my stamped layered piece in the center of this panel. Remember how we centered our panel on the stencil design? So now I'm centering my stamped painting in the center of my background, of my dry embossed background. See how it kind of lines up with the embossed design there. I really like that. To me, that embossed background looks like wallpaper. It looks like some expensive textured wallpaper that you would have on a wall in your apartment. Next, I have my little sentiment, and I've also added double-sided adhesive from the back because I want to pop this up as well. And I'm just trying to figure out where I want it. And you have options. You can place it a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. You can place it at the bottom, in the center, whichever looks best to you. So with the sentiment added, I also want to add a couple of gems or a couple of drops onto my card, just here and there, just to add a little bit of playfulness to this design. And that actually finishes my card. It's super simple, yet you have that beautiful, vivid stamped image in the center. I made a few additional cards where I played with other colors. I wanted to experiment. So this one, I used the same colors as before, plus citrine, latte, and carnation. My next card was done using watermelon, charcoal, and honey. And the first card was done using honey, clay, and brick. So that's a look at the cards that I have for you created with the Simon Says Stamp Flower Block stamp set. Thanks so much for joining me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.